Chapter 3, Guarding the Hawkins Mansion. Pierce managed to get into the warehouse. The place, thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises, signs of recent occupation as well as partly charred painting. Interrupted in his search by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. The police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins Mansion. So I guess I should have done all the other dialogue first, because apparently we're here. Whoops. Oh well.
Well, here we are, Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
I don't believe the fire is the only reason this house is in such a state.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
Huh. It's really that old.
Come on, let's leave the stories of the dead alone. They've nothing to do with your case anyhow. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
Yeah, so Officer Bradley is actually the guy that she had given the Harlequin smile to. I think it's a Harlequin smile. I don't entirely remember. Effectively, she cut his mouth open, at least to some degree. Or just the side of his cheek. I thought the workers had implied that it was somebody under employ that she did that to. But no, she did it to him. Interesting.
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise
Laska grin.
attitude.
There we go.
But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
You're talking about Winchester.
That's right. The Hawkins' old caretaker. Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you? The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you...
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
I'm not sure if I trust Officer Bradley. But if he wanted to dispose of me, it would have been way easier. Well, I mean, just as easy in both places. Now, he's going that way. What's over here? Hopefully he doesn't get mad. I like wandering around. Aha. Small wooden whale. A figurine whale carved from wood. It's the sort of toy that sailors made for their children. Oh. Okay, not necessarily sure if that was worth coming out for. Might be. Probably something for Silas. Wander tries to break the game again. I try and break every game I ever play. Sometimes I'm really successful. Most of the time I'm not.
It's as if all life has abandoned the place.
But yeah, if the cop wanted to dispose of me, he could have just shot me the moment we were out of town. And I've lost him. Well, that's okay. We'll catch up with him or something. He's over there. I don't want to approach the house too much. Yeah, that's too close. Maybe we're going off to talk to Silas? I'm not sure. Can I interact with this at all? No. I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me.
Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined, but the architecture seems too recent.
Is that something? No. One of the reasons why I like keeping it brighter is it's a little easier for me to tell what the heck's going on. I should actually turn off the lights in a second. Yeah, why don't we take a break in a moment, short break, like 30 seconds. I just want to grab a cushion and turn off the lights so we can get immersed.
Poor kid.
Now, how old was Simon Hawkins? 11.
Poor kid.
Why are the flowers here messed up?
Charles Hawkins' grave. Who could have done this?
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial. What kind of deranged individual would defile this sanctuary? And steal a burnt painting? I don't see Silas doing such a thing. Let alone allowing it. Even that broad baker is above that. Lord, have pity on this poor family.
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. The old caretaker must be very attached to her.
Doesn't look like there's anything else around here either. Nope. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Nothing else? Talk to him. Nope. Oh no, that's his button. His button looks like one of the dialogue symbols. What did I do? Oh, that's funny. Alright, I guess I'm heading for the Hawkins Manor. So yeah, somebody doesn't like Charles Hawkins, but likes her. Probably Silas. I mean, I could see that Silas was loyal to her above both. For a second, I thought this was like a giant leg, and I'm like, what? Why would they do this? This suddenly actually... Oh, man. This suddenly really makes me want to play a game like this. You know, fantasy, but like in a more fantastic world. I mean, admittedly, Lovecraft can get pretty wild. But no, I'm thinking like, you know, swords, sorcery, wizards, and whatever. Wizards, witches. But instead of being an action RPG, it's just a detective game.
This entrance is still in use. Whoa!
You are trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them. Dump them into the ocean.
Whoa! You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident, but Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
The sooner I carry out my investigation, the sooner I wrap up the case and return to Boston. After which, you'll never hear of me again.
I like the sound of that, but I have a better idea. You leave right now, and you never come back. Officer Bradley, this hood was trying to break into the mansion.
Do something, Bradley, or this story will have a nasty ending.
I vouch for him, Silas. He's working with us. We have reason to believe that someone entered the mansion and stole some paintings.
Impossible. I would have seen it.
Better safe than sorry. Now let us in. I promise to keep an eye on this one.
Okay then. I'll leave the key with you. You could have told me that earlier, Sonny.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion.
It's interesting we don't get to exhaust all of our dialogue options. I'm actually kind of frustrated by that. It's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of one of those where it's like I like to see and hear everything. It's interesting that we're progressing without it, but then again, I guess it doesn't matter too much. It also looks like CP is doled out very rarely. What's the bet that we go to that lighthouse before this game's over? What's just too prominent? Special? I don't really know. Oh, Silas's hut. Hey, he's not around to watch. Let's see what skeletons he's got buried in these closets. Nothing here. FOV could be a little wider. Not that big of a deal. Can I take? I was really hoping I could have an axe. Aha! You cannot menace me. We will have an axe duel. Then I will show you how to dissect a shark. And people!
Bourbon. Empty, of course.
What? Why? Oh, are we supposed to spy on him later?
The poor wretch seems to spend the best part of his time isolated from the world. I know a thing or two about solitude myself. Rather Spartan. The caretaker has simple tastes.
Game saved. Oh, that's not Eldritch writing on the side of his door. Okay, so I don't think we can get in yet. I was hoping we could break in and investigate if he had anything important in there while they're distracted up in the mansion. But I guess we'll have to come back later. A lot of people were bringing up Old Man Henderson. I would enjoy playing like an Eldritch horror role-playing game where you play as like some crazy person to begin with. You know, totally lost his marbles and almost completely immune to sanity points and whatnot because he's just too far gone to begin with, but in a different way.
Pierce, shall we enter?
It wouldn't be very good though. That's the one thing I'd say. Like, it would be cool to play a Henderson role-playing game, but it would probably be bad. I don't think it would be fun to immediately like play.
I'll have to find another entrance.
Okay, so that's all that would have been set up here. I do kind of wish you could almost auto-sprint. Holding down the sprint button for this entire series is going to be annoying.
Now that you finish your fun and games with Silas, we can perhaps inspect the mansion.
You're right. Let's go.
Thanks?
Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you.
So, Hawkins Mansion. Pierce and Officer Bradley explored the gardens of the Hawkins Mansion. The family lies in the graveyard of the property, guarded by Silas Winchester. The old caretaker, still faithful to his employers, keeps watch on the place, armed with his axe. Pierce and Bradley manage to calm him down, and finally get a hold of the key to the Hawkins Mansion. They enter the building, looking for the scene of the fire.
Follow me. I know the place. Who left this light on?
Let's see. Flowers. Old and wilted, couple of things. Creepy paintings, a lot of them. Let's see, so... Earlier I said I wanted this, but more fantasy. Do I mean this, but a world with actual Cthulhu and... Nyarlathotep and Azathoth? No, I meant like, straight up like a Dungeons and Dragons universe. You know, you have all of these fantasy creatures, but you're just some wizard with, you know, a wizard detective almost. That, you know, maybe there's a little bit of RPG combat, but 90% of it is just, you being like a skilled wizard that solves murders and shit. Because I think that could be really cool. You know, cooking up like different investigative spells and stuff like that, and having like, you know, murder mysteries with like dwarves and elves and like a dragon and I mean,
the Last Supper of the Hawkins. What does this tell me?
What is that? That's not food. Sir, I think I know why they died. They ate that thing. They didn't even take out the eyeballs. That thing doesn't even have any organs. It's just weird meat. Eldritch munchies are not good. You don't eat. It killed the rat. It's not good. Fish loaf is not good loaf. Seriously. Yeah.
What kind of meat is this?
It's not. Well, I mean, it is, but it's not. You don't eat it. Don't eat it, mommy. Sorry, that's literally the first thing that ever came out of my mouth, apparently, that was intelligible. Is straight up, don't eat it, mommy. And so sometimes whenever I look at, like, this stuff, and I'm like, I just remember... God, no, don't eat it.
This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins.
He straight up looks like, the main character from Vampire. Like, similar haircut, similar beard. Similar outfit? It doesn't seem like he likes his eldritch fish loaf. At all.
The boy was probably here. Smashed his plate on the floor. Sarah Hawkins didn't eat. Was it because of the meat or something else? Something happened at this table. An argument?
Hey, Pierce. Daydreaming again?
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door.
Wait, are all the windows busted in here? And hold on. There's like cobwebs and shit everywhere. How long have these people been dead?
Sarah Hawkins and little Simon. The perfect picture of the middle-class family.
Because, like, there's no glass in these. This wood's been here for a while. Do these people just live in, like, trash house? Do we... Can I check this? The case. Clues. I really wish I could zoom in and see some dates here. Oh. Marriage on Darkwater. No, that's 1912. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we don't have any dates yet. Because, like, it feels like these people have been dead for a while. I guess? Love the artistry for this game. The spiderwebs can pop up fast. Left a pair of shoes in my garage for a week. Because they're muddy and they got covered in webs. Yeah, so I agree with you to some degree. The main grump I have is... like, so spiderwebs pop up pretty quick. But not to this degree. Ish. Oh, hey, we got some more. Yes! Level 4, find hidden object. Oh. There we go. Alright, so I'm probably going to leave it at 4 for a second. But, like, all of these windows have no glass in them. They don't have smashed windows. Partial windows. They're not boarded up because... they're not boarded up because... you know, they're, you know, no one's living here anymore. It, like this dirt in the corner? This stuff, like... nobody lived here. And they definitely don't build up this fast. Like, you'd have to have a army of, like, rather angry spiders. And, like, spiders don't even generally live on islands. You need a lot of bugs for spiders to actually be worth anything.
Charles and Sarah's wedding, as painted by Sarah herself.
He doesn't seem really into the whole wedding thing. Or anything.
Was Charles Hawkins some kind of explorer?
Charles Hawkins poses like an explorer in front of exotic ruins. It's common knowledge that he wasted away his fortune on expensive trips. What was he looking for? Honestly, it looks like he only knows one pose.
Too much rubble. I'll find an easier way.
Okay, so we don't run out of lighter. I was worried for a second that was going to be a mechanic here.
Let's see if I can find something the cops missed.
You know, that is a good point, though. There's a lot of, like, just dead fish and stuff, so actually there probably would be a number of bugs around here. Oh, there's an interact point in the dining room. Well, can't go back.
Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker?
Thank you, find hidden object skill.
The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? Did it stop at the time of the fire? They had a fight. Why? Did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How?
Yeah, I'm liking my find hidden object skill. Admittedly, a cult would have been interesting to have a bunch of points in. All of the skills would have been lovely to have points in. This does make me wish that I had everything maxed out. Going into this game just to see everything. So what am I missing? We haven't found the source of the fire. We found them fighting here. Yes. But we haven't found... Oh, the door. Oh, you can investigate the door? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a handprint.
Did someone escape the fire?
Okay, so we got the door. Opposite the fireplace. Oh, yeah.
If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn?
And why do people keep paintings like this around?
Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident. This was a fight. Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee. And the boy.
So, Detective, what do you make of it?
Much of this evidence simply contradicts the investigation's findings.
Really? Tell me about it.
I found a bottle of whiskey. Empty.
Well, that must have been a loss for you.
No glass. I suspect one of them drank heavily to calm down. Charles, most probably.
That's pretty thin. Who says that bottle hadn't been there for a while?
I can tell where young Simon was, but not his parents. Where were their bodies found?
I can't help you on that one. Charles and Sarah's bodies had already been carried away when I got here.
Without your authorization. By whom?
Marshall, Andrews, Chief West. We never deal with cases like that, you know. So... well...
It would seem at least one person fled the crime scene.
What'd you say?
That mark on the door. Someone's hand slid down there. The left side has no mark. The door was open and that someone left.
For God's sake. I mean, if it's Charles or Sarah, they wouldn't have left their son.
They would rather die in the flames as a family instead of calling for help? I don't buy it.
Oh, yeah?
I was under the impression the fire started around midnight.
Yes, Silas banged on our door around 1 a.m. Poor devil ran so hard he was almost belching his lungs out.
This clock burned before 10 p.m.
That's impossible. What you imply? Silas never would have hurt the Hawkins family. Besides, Dr. Fuller confirmed the hour of death in his report. Your clock must have already have stopped.
Dr. Fuller?
A brilliant surgeon, and a friend of the family. I'm sure he took the matter to heart. So, excuse me if I value his opinion over yours.
So be it. Let's move on. I suspect this lamp caused the fire.
That's what the investigation suggested, too.
But does your report mention the bloodstains? The lamp didn't fall, it was thrown at someone.
For heaven's sakes, no. The report doesn't mention that.
I firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
Huh. What's your theory?
I suspect a crime of passion.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing,